Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba. Well, it will be 60 years on the 1st of March and would have attained the 35 years of service on the 15th of March also, that same month, and which means that he's expected to retire, isn't it? That is perhaps a general way to look at things, but things became a bit technical and a bit not direct again when there were inferences to what the police affairs minister said, whether or not there will be an extension. But there was a statement by that police affairs minister. But it looks to me that what was said at the villa may have been misconstrued or maybe not properly understood, which means that maybe it will stay in office further than that March, which a lot of people think he should naturally retire. So the police affairs minister had to issue a statement to debunk what he said at the presidential villa over the possibility of a tenure extension for the most senior police officer, Usman Alkali Baba. Let's get some legal perspectives to this, because this is largely a legal matter, and it falls within the executive powers of the president. Does the president have the power to extend the tenure, which has not really happened, because until March, is he within his powers to, or few days before then, still have the power to be in office? I'm being joined tonight by a former Attorney General of Jigawa State and a senior lawyer, senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Sani Garungabas. Thank you so much indeed for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can the IG stay further in office? The inclination is whether or not he's due for retirement.
Well, thank you for having me. Let me say that the Office of the Inspector General of Police, by virtue of Section 7 of the Police Act, which provides for appointment, qualification, removal, and tenure of the Inspector General of Police. Subsection 1 provides for the appointment by the President, and subsection 2 goes ahead to say the qualifications. Now, particularly what is important in this regard is subsection 6 of that act, the Police Act, which says once a person is appointed as Inspector General of Police, he shall serve for 4 years. So that is where we are now. He has been appointed and he has not served 4 years.
So let's look at it. Statutorily, a civil servant has the time statutorily when they can be in office. And this is backed by the Constitution, isn't it?
Well, you are saying it.
I'm asking you, you are the lawyer here.
Well, I know of the provision of Section 18.
But what does the Constitution say about number of years that a civil servant can be in office or can serve?
Just like you said, 35 years of service or 60 years, whichever comes first.
So the man in question, the IG, would have attained that status either by age or by a number of years in office by March this year.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So by the position of the law and the bodies of our laws, which is more senior or which takes preeminence?
Well, you see, my understanding is that this is a specific provision.
But it's a statute.
It is. And it is a federal law. It is also constitution, because it is a law that is enacted by the National Assembly.
A statute, but not a constitution.
Well, it is a constitution. Once any law that is made by the National Assembly is part of the Constitution, becomes part of the Constitution.
But it's subservient in some way. It's lower in stature, and it cannot conflict with the Constitution.
It cannot. I agree with you.
So if the Constitution, which is the ground norm, the father and the grandfather of all laws, says retire at 60 or at the age of 35 years of service, and a lower law says you can do 4 years of office, is that not a contradiction?
If there is a law, like you said, in the Constitution, which says you do that, it is contradictory, and therefore the Constitution takes precedence. But who is supposed to take decision on that? It's not me and you.
But does it give the president the power to allow anyone to stay beyond the statutory number of years, either of age or of service, in furthering service?
No. But let me explain.
Okay, so the reason why I'm asking that question is it's seen under the law as ultra vires. If anything that is against the Constitution.
Seen under the law as ultra vires by who?
By the Constitution itself. That says that anything that is in contradiction against the Constitution does not stand.
It's null and void. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But which provision of the Constitution are you referring to?
Where does the Police Act get its powers from?
Of course, the Constitution.
So that's the question I'm asking. For those who think that the IG is supposed to go in March, are they wrong?
Well, they are wrong in view of the provision of Section 7, subsection 6 of the Police Act.
And let me read it out. That portion states, so that for the benefit of our viewers, so
yes,
they can get a sense of.
You can start from subsection 1.
That section provides that a person appointed as Inspector General of Police shall hold office for 4 years.
Yes.
But Section 18, subsection 8 of that same law provides that every police officer shall serve in the police force for a period of 35 years and until he attains the age of 60 years, whichever is earlier.
Yes. So what is your question?
My question is that, is there a contradiction in that law?
I do not think there is, because my view is that this is a specific provision. Section 7 is a specific provision regarding the Inspector General of Police. Section 18 relates to all policemen. To every law there is an exception. Probably the lawmakers want to be different with regards to the Inspector General of Police. But be that as it may, my view has always been this, that even assuming without conceding that there is a contradiction, the only way to resolve this contradiction is for the courts to intervene. So if anybody believes that there is a contradiction in this between Section 7 and Section 18 in total, they should go to court. That is my opinion. It's not for me, you, or civil society organizations, or anybody to take a decision that this is null and void, this is ultra-virus, and so on and so forth.
Does the employer of the police officer, which is perhaps, I think, the Police Service Commission, do they have a say in this matter?
I don't think it will be proper for anybody, including the president, to intervene in this, because the president has done what he can do. The only way he could perhaps remove the Inspector General of Police is to go back to the provisions of Section 7, subsections 3 and 4. And there are conditions.
There are predecessors prior to Usman Alkali Baba who didn't serve 4 years in office, and a long list of them. I'm not sure Solomon Arase served through 4 years. So are you saying that the president...
You mentioned who and who?
I said there are a long list of IG of police. In fact, my guest the other day was mentioning that there was a time in this country that in 10 years we had 10 Inspector General of Police.
Yes.
Now it tells you how much of change that has come. A lot of them will get into the office and they just have about a year left in service.
Which year was that?
Sir?
Which year was that?
This was, I think it dovetailed between when Obasanjo was in office. Now, the question I'm pushing, I'm trying to get an answer from you is, are you saying that the president cannot remove the IG of police right now?
He can only do that according to law.
And what does the law say in terms of
section
removal?
I can read section.
Please go ahead, sir.
Good. Sorry.
What section?
Now section 7.
7, okay. Subsection what?
7.
Subsection 7.
3 and 4.
Okay, great.
Are you on 3 now?
Yes, please go ahead.
The Inspector General of Police shall be, okay, let's go to 4. It's not 3. It's 4 and 5.
Okay, please go ahead.
The Inspector General of Police shall not be removed from office except for gross misconduct, gross violation of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or demonstrated incapacity to effectively discharge the duties of the office. That is one of the provisions. And then when this is established,
and that is within the powers of the president.
Yes.
The president can determine whatever that means.
It depends. It depends. These are obvious provisions. You see, let's take, for instance, gross misconduct. This is a crime.
Gross misconduct can be anything.
Maybe it is defined somewhere in the law, but it has to be established that he has committed gross misconduct, gross violation of the Constitution. These are obvious things.
Okay, so Lenosik, the question that a lot of Nigerians who are watching right here and right now will be asking, is it necessary to go through the rigor of going to court to be able to remove an IG? If the man has attained the age of 60 and 35 years, why go through that legal fireworks when you easily can appoint another person?
Well, you see, it is not, this whole issue is not about the current Inspector General of Police or even the office of the Inspector General of Police. It is a matter relating to law. What does the law say? And you allude that the law has contradiction within it, but that Section 7 and Section 8 have contradicted each other. How do you resolve that?
If you are to advise as a senior lawyer,
let me correct something before I forget.
Yeah.
I didn't say that he cannot be removed except by the court. I didn't say so. I insisted that the president can remove him on the condition as provided by section 7, 4, sub 4 and
7, 3 and
yes.
4 and 5.
So
yeah.
Continue.
So the final question for you tonight, Lenosik, if you are to advise the president on this matter, which in your view you think that is naughty and is a bit controversial, what would you be saying to the president? And I assume that the president is watching right now.
Well, I will ask him to put the question to the court. There are so many ways to do that, and the court will give a decision. I don't think any individual can tell you with any precision that this is the way out. There are people who believe that it is illegal.
Yeah.
There are people who also believe that he is there legally.
So you think
because
that
it's not the president that determines the tenure of the Inspector General of Police.
Yeah.
It's the Police Act.
So you think that Usman Alkali Baba should serve out 4 years?
I think he has been appointed for 4 years.
And he should serve it out?
It doesn't matter whether he should.
That's your position?
Yes.
Well, we've had someone who would think otherwise. But thank you so much for coming tonight. Mr. Sani Garungabaz, former Attorney General of Jigawa State and the Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.